FCA Eurasia teammates, we have opportunity on occasion to do events. It may be a sporting camp, it may be a clinic for coaches, it may be um, a banquet, a fundraising event, a coaches retreat, coaches and spouses dinner, or an evening together, or a weekend retreat. All kinds of events can happen, but we need to think wisely about how we put them together and then how we execute them, and even how do we evaluate them and to determine, did we do well, can we do better in the future, how do we do all these things. I would say, similarly to the other things we talked about, think about the purpose. What is it we're trying to accomplish in this? That may also help you determine whether this should be an in-person kind of event, or can this be done online? Can this be done through a YouTube channel, through a live online event? How should we do it? Let that be determined by your purpose more than by convenience or finances or anything else. Think about the purpose first. Secondly, think about your intended audience. Who is it we're trying to connect with? Is it coaches? Is it coaches and their spouses? Is it players? Is it young players? Is it elite level players or professional level players? Or is it donors? Is it people who are board members? Who are the people we're trying to work with? And where, as you've studied the McAllen Sport and Ministry map, where are they both on that vertical continuum of coming to Christ or growing in Him? And secondly, in their sporting experience, do these people think like fans? Well, our event would be much different with them than it would be elite level players way over here on the other side of the map. Let's think about who it is we're impacting and how we do that. Think about the intended audience very directly and what's the best way for us to engage them. Nextly, love for you to think about events. Think about the goal. What is it we hope we accomplish at the end of this? What is the intended outcome? With a banquet event or a fundraising event, it's about raising money. What's the best way we do that? If it's a coach's event, sometimes it's about helping them see something more, a bigger thing than what they've known before. It's like introduce them to 3D coaching. Yes, we can have great goals with that. Or if they're already familiar with that, what's the next step? How do we engage them in coaches' huddles? Is that the goal of this event? What is it we're trying to accomplish? What's the intended outcome? Let's build our event to accomplish that goal. Again, knowing who the intended audience is, what its purpose is, let's set some goals of what we think we ought to accomplish. Think about it, whether it should be online or in person. There are some online things that are coming to be that sometimes we've had to, just because of COVID, experiment with things. I did my banquet back in March 100% online in a YouTube playlist, and it accomplished as much or more than it would have done had I done the in-person event that we were going to do, because I spent way less money doing it, and it accomplished from a revenue standpoint virtually the same thing. So it could be you can collect some videos in a YouTube playlist and accomplish exactly what you want in terms of showing them the videos that you want. It could be that you do a live online event. Some of my FCA teammates have done that, where it's live just like they were doing an in-person event, but here it's 100% online. And if you record that, suddenly that thing is also available as a recording for people to experience after the fact. So you may get the best of both worlds. You could do that same thing with a coaching clinic. It's much, much harder to do a camp because so many of camps are very, very interactive in the way they work, but you might still be able to deliver a camp experience through that kind of way by some of it being online. On the back end of this thing, I would say, one, evaluate everything. How did it work? Did we spend the right amount of money in the process? Did we accomplish what we wanted? Ask questions of the participants. Find out, did we accomplish what we intended to do? Did we meet our goals? Did we accomplish our purpose? Ask some hard questions of yourself in evaluating the excellence of the event. That's a core value for us. We want to know, did we do this really well? And beyond that, what can we do better when we get ready to do this event again? So evaluate things, look at everything closely to determine how well you did with each thing. And lastly, once you get finished, you evaluate the whole thing, you get your team together that helped you execute the event, celebrate it. Say, look at this thing went so well. This was what was accomplished. We nailed our goals, or we exactly fulfilled the purposes we had for this. Celebrate those things. That's how you keep volunteers coming back year after year after year, as you tell them, wow, you guys did great. We're proud of you. I've found through events, especially with lots of volunteers, like doing a camp or doing some other events, if volunteers have one job to do and they can do it well and they can hear the Lord in it, they can experience God in the process of doing that job with that event, they'll come back for years and years and years because they had a good experience. And part of that is how we celebrate with them the strength of the camp, of the event. We see it accomplishing purposes, and we know that the Lord was pleased with it. That's the kind of celebration that keeps them engaged for a long time. Lastly, let me summarize by saying, think about events in this case. Think about the purpose of it. What is it we really want to accomplish? Secondly, who is our intended audience? Let's build the whole event to accomplish the Lord's purposes with that set of people. Thirdly, set some goals. Know what it is the intended outcomes are. And then evaluate those things. Did we accomplish them? Yes or no? How well did we do it? On a 1 to 10 scale, was it a 4 or was it an 8? Where is it? Evaluate. And then lastly, celebrate with your volunteers. All the people that help build it, the team that puts it together, celebrate with them. Have a sense of the Lord's work in it and his pleasure with you and with the event. That's one great way to have excellent events, whether they're in person, whether they're online. I know you can do these things excellently and really honor the Lord in them. Thanks so much, FCA Eurasia teammates.